Hello, friends. This is Grunhaar, and welcome to episode 11 of minicast. Happy New Year, by the way. How was your holiday? Mine was a peaceful one because I wanted it to be that way. I didn't go to any countdown parties. I just stayed at my own place and did some personal stuff, focused on myself. And it was pretty nice. Well, I did go somewhere else, unusual actually. I went to hot springs. We call it onsen in Japanese. If you know how to read or write kanji, it literally writes warm spring in 2 letters. So how did this come about? It goes back several months ago. One of my massage practitioners, he's a delightful man in his 60s who likes to travel and fishing, and he told me there's a nice onsen where you can visit by trains, and I decided to give it a try, like a small trip there. It's located in the outskirts of Kanagawa. I haven't traveled further than Yokohama for a very long time, so it was kind of foreign and fresh to me. It was around the end of December, so you will see lesser people in the city area because they go back to countryside. Outside Tokyo, outside Kanagawa, outside Chiba, outside Saitama, all these areas around Tokyo in general to spend times with their families during the New Year's holiday. I chose this timing because I don't like crowded places. I thought it was a good timing to go there with less people in transportation systems, and my guess was right. So I took an express train to Kamakura. I blankly stared outside the train windows. I just observed the sceneries changed with my empty head. As the train goes further into the countryside, I saw less tall buildings, less concrete, and more fields, more nature. After arriving to Kamakura, where the giant Buddha statue is, I changed trains to another different line. There's a small local train service called Enoden, and you take this one. So Enoden is a shortened name of Enoshima Dentetsu, which means Enoshima Electric Railway. We just like to shorten words, like konbini. Since Enoden is composed of 3 small train cars, maybe 4, it has short, compact impression, and it has retro-looking green and yellow colors. Overall, it has an old-fashioned vibe, and it looks like it's from one of Ghibli films. Maybe you like it. I got off at Inamuragasaki. It's a minimal station with a single staff, surrounded by family homes and a small local grocery store. It was quiet, as if nobody's there from the beginning, and I enjoyed the silence. As I walked towards the ocean side, I could already smell the salty breeze coming from the ocean, and I loved it. It was a bit early to take a bath in the hot springs, so I decided to have an oceanside stroll to explore, because why not? I saw a few people were walking by the beach. I heard giggles faintly from afar, taking photos and stuff. I saw a wild hawk flying too. It was gliding in the wind effortlessly, and it looked somehow elegant. There was a set of stairs made of stones leading to the beach, and I found a nice spot to sit on and enjoy the view. I sat down, and I was amazed by this beautiful view. There was nothing but the sea, and there were no ships sailing, and there were no people swimming. The only thing existed was just a huge body of water swaying, and I could only hear the waves crashing. I was so lost in that moment. It felt like I was detached from the reality, my everyday life, and something that held me for a long time bursted, and I felt these unrecognized, complex emotions breaking free from the deep. I had no idea what was happening. Tears came out, ran down my cheeks, and I tasted my saltiness. It was just like the rice bowl scene from the Ghibli film, Spirited Away. If you look up that particular scene, the protagonist, her name is Chihiro, she eats magical rice balls and starts crying uncontrollably. And I personally think one of the biggest characteristics in Ghibli films is that they portray human tears larger than the actual ones. You can confirm that in other films too. For example, in Howl's Moving Castle, or in Ponyo, and in When Marnie Was There. It was just like that. When I was smaller, I was told often, verbatim, that I cry like an actress because I tend to have bigger teardrops. I think my eyes are just shaped in a way like a sculpture to hold tears to maximum and release them. I think that's why my teardrops look bigger. Anyways, after shedding my tears silently until there's nothing left, I gave one last good gaze at the sea, took a deep breath, stood up, and left. I don't know how long exactly I was sitting there, maybe an hour, at least 30 minutes, I guess. I smiled a bit because there was no one seeing me having the moment. Around the time of sunset, I got to the onsen. You need to buy the ticket first, by the way, and I was lucky because it was just the day before they increased the ticket price for holiday season, and I didn't even know that. I'm gonna tell you that some people are really into hot springs, like a hobby, because it's good for health. It's similar to people who are into saunas. So hot springs make your blood circulation better because it warms up your body to the core, and eventually it relieves your stiff body parts by loosening the muscles. And it's also good for your skin too. Now you know why some health gurus love hot springs. The water color in this onsen is naturally very dark, almost black, with a hint of very dark brown. You can't really see the bottom because the watercolor is very dark and thick. It was very scary to go inside, but it was okay since there were several people already in there. If you hold your hand under the water, like more than 5 centimeters below the surface, you can barely see your hand. It's like that thick. So this onsen was pretty nice because you can see the ocean from inside the main huge bathtub. Since it is located on the second floor, there was no obstacle in the sight. It has a perfect view. So me and other people in the bathtub, we watched the sunset together in silence. As my body got warmer, I started imagining myself as a mermaid living in dark waters, in a different universe. I gazed at the moon, I played my harp-like instrument made of crystals, I spied on humans and boats, and I had seaweed for snacks. I felt like I was dissolving and becoming together with the dark water. It was somewhat trippy. Maybe I was in there for too long. After I saw the clouds near the horizon turned from pink to ruby red to purple gray and then dark gray, I got out, dried my hair, and I was looking forward to drink that bottled coffee milk in the lounge, but it was sold out. So this is a Japanese culture thing, by the way. After taking a bath in the onsen, you drink milk in glass bottles. Usually you can pick from regular milk or coffee flavored milk, or if you are lucky enough, you can choose fruit flavored milk. Coffee ones are my go-to because I like coffee. On the way back to the station, I bought myself a crunchy chocolate Monaca ice cream at 7-Eleven because I was a bit hungry, and I also wanted to balance out the crave for bottled coffee milk, which I couldn't fulfill. I stood right outside 7-Eleven, and as I munched on the Monaca ice cream, I kinda looked back on 2023, reviewed the whole year thoroughly in my head, how tough it was in general, how bravely I fought when things were not going well, how blessed I was in social connections, like interacting with good people, meeting new people, and the list goes on. Then I looked up the sky and noticed that the moon was round and very bright. Turns out it was the last full moon in 2023. Looking back at this trippy trip, it felt like I was unconsciously preparing for something new, soaked myself in hot springs at the end of the year, getting ready for the next stage or whatever that is. Maybe it was the timing where I reached some kind of the end of a chapter, and now I wait for the opportune time of rebirth. Or maybe I already went through. I don't know. Time will tell. So I tried to talk a bit longer this time, and I hope you like it. I will continue to experiment more topics and styles in this podcast project. I have several ideas what to talk about in the coming episodes. If you have anything you would like to hear about, let me know in the comments. Okay, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Wherever you are, have a great day and see you next time.